Thank you. Welcome once again in Voice Crypto community. So thank you everyone. Hello Jack, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, thank you for having here actually. So I think we can start. So the first of all, I'd like to thank you all of our community members for having here. And guys, today we'll discuss more about the Saakuru protocol, their plan and programs, and also their activities. So I can say like Saakuru is a consumer-centric layer 2 protocol with zero transaction fees. So could you please Jack introduce yourself a little bit?
Wait, sorry, I couldn't hear the last part.
Okay, I just asked about could you please introduce yourself a little bit actually and also your experience in the crypto industry.
Sure, yeah. So my name is Jack, and I'm one of the co-founder and CEO of Saakuru Labs. So my experience has been in tech industry for the past 25 years, about 14 years or so in startup scene in Silicon Valley, in New York, and right now the Saakuru Lab is a fourth startup. So most of the experience been really in enterprise space, dealing with large scale integration, also building all sorts of different platforms, like from content platform, retail platform, application platform, and now the essentially the blockchain platform, right? So in terms of the my experience in crypto, I started back in about 2011. That's when I started mining Bitcoin, and then uh, around 2016, I started getting a little bit more involved with the technical analysis of all these different projects, right? So I started reading up a lot of white paper. I joined some syndicates and help analyze all these different projects and different opportunities. And then eventually I became advisor to a few projects. And then starting Saakuru Lab was back around 2021. So this is really the first time as a founder in a way in the Web3 space. Yeah, so that's a little bit
Okay,
about me.
yeah. Thank you. Happy to know about yourself. So it's time to know more about your like how does Shakuru differentiate itself as a consumer-centric layer 2 protocol in the blockchain space? Could you elaborate on more?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, as you explained, right? So, we're a consumer-centric layer two protocol, and the key features that we have, like there's a few things, right? But the key part is that there's no transaction fee on our chain, and it's a little bit different from for those of you who understand what account abstraction is, right? So, account abstraction is when a developer can decide to cover your gas fee and this. I mean, the six other aspects, but the part about the gas fee is this part, right? So they can choose to cover the gas fee from all the whole thing or partially. What we do different here is that we choose to make that default for the whole chain, right? So for all the users, for it doesn't matter which project or just you basically just transfer asset on our chain. There's no gas fee at all, right? Because we saw gas fee is a major obstacle, and this is how we choose to do it. And then the second part is that we are a super fast blockchain. Our block time can go down as low as 51 milliseconds. So it's suitable for a lot. Essentially, if you want to do something like on-chain multiplayer experience, like for games, it's possible because typically for multiplayer game, if you have lag time over 120 milliseconds, then people can actually notice it, right? So it's not a smooth experience. So we can even support something like that as well. So yeah, so that's a little bit about our protocol, and we also have a lot of different developer tools as well. Because our goal is to fix the experience for both users and also for developers and companies and people who want to come into Web3, right? So we had, and if you see in the announcement recently, we had games like Crypto Run that just went live on our chain. They were able to essentially add a full-on wallet functionality into their app, and it took them when they first started integrating, it took less than a day, right? So that's the kind of thing that we try and do as well. So making sure that there's as little friction as possible for consumer and also for a project and developer who's trying to come in.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Jack. So I'll take more question now, but before that, I can see like your gain state actually right now is live, like you mentioned, maximize the potential winning from a prize pool like 500,000 your tokens plus 900 USDC. So I just want to know more detail about this program actually. Like, could you say how can people take part on this, and also like you mentioned, there are two incredible ways like to win actually. So could you share more detail about this?
Yeah, sure. So you're talking about social file, right? So the what we're trying to do here is to essentially build up our community, right? One way to do this is essentially, I mean, what we call the kind of some engagement farming in a way. But what we do here is we allow people to come in, learn more about us, and so also help spread the word, right? Now, this when we first started, we launched two separate campaigns in a way. So the first one has 1.5 million SKR token as a reward. So this is through the partnership with this game studio called Worlds Beyond. Or I mean, they have the platform Playground, right? So we're using that to run this social confide campaign. And then the second part is where we partner with, I think, about 12 different partners, and to also help bring them in and also help help them get some additional adoption as well. Because the way we tend to do things is we don't do anything alone, right? We gather all the different partners to come in to help us kind of build our ecosystem, and we always want to give back, and always want to push traffic to them as well. So as part of this campaign, we also have run another on a campaign called it's on a platform called Task On, where it's like a question campaign, right? And then recently, because we want to make sure that we also kind of gear our campaign towards smaller account. So smaller account, what we mean by that is people with less than 5,000 followers, right? So that they have a better chance to also win the and earn the SKR token. So we dedicated about 500,000 token for that as well. So that I think went live yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So, guys, you have 3 days in hand. So just go for it and don't miss the chance. Actually, like to know more, you can visit their like you can join or follow their social media links, like their X actually. So I would like to know more about like what features does your Saakuru offer to the developers to its developer suite, and also how does it enable like embedding complex digital products to Web3 in just one day?
Yeah, so we have quite a few things, but so the main product is our wallet, right? So we have a standalone wallet, which is a seed-led wallet, and it supports about 16 blockchains, I believe. Or actually, I think now 17. So what we do there is we turn that to be an SDK. So our SDK is being used by centralized exchanges, being used by game studio and other types of project. And again, the idea is that when you, let's say, have a mobile application, a mobile game, right, and you want to just add a Web3 functionality to it, typically you have to spend quite a bit of time working on the integration to the blockchain. Then you have to work on the UI, right? And because typically, if you want to have a fully featured wallet, for example, typically there's about 50 to 60 different screens from, I mean, the wallet screen itself, lists a wallet, transaction confirmation, all these different screens. And it takes a lot of time, and things evolve quite fast with different standards. So it's very hard for a project to keep up, right? So for that case, we essentially have an SDK that anyone can just embed, and it has all these different models, different pages that can handle all these different scenarios. And that's why a project like Crypto Run can integrate and win one day and have all the features that they need. We also have other features, other products such as a cross-chain search engine. So in that case, we support, again, right now, I think 17 blockchains, right? So it helps with asset discovery. And for those of you who, I mean, take a look at the wallet, right, that you use. Let's say you use something like MetaMask. Until very recently, if someone send you asset, you have no idea, right? Unless you also already add a contract address for the crypto asset, or if you have the, let's say, the contract address and also the token ID for NFT. Otherwise, you will never see the asset coming to your wallet. So for us, that's just kind of nonsense. So we build a really good search engine, and we track everything that's going on all these different blockchains, right? So developer can come in and then integrate with that to use it for analysis, use it for asset discovery, And also, I mean, you can even use it to run social fi campaign, for example, right? Because you can track all the sorts of different activities. So yeah, these are a few things that we have that help developers when they come in, it saves them a lot of time from so that they can go live much faster, cheaper, and also it's because a lot of time people don't even understand like what to do, right? So cutting out the technology part so they can focus on the strategy is definitely the way to go.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Thank you for this. So yeah, guys, they have their website. If you want to learn more, they have their white paper also. Like you'll be able to see the problems they're solving right now and the solution right there. So yeah, thank you, Jack. So as far I know, like you have the ultra first block time. So could you share more like how does your Saakuru ultra first block time benefits developer looking to create on-chain application like the more PZ games and others?
Sure. So the the blockchain itself is developed using OP Stack, right? So OP Stack is developed by Optimism Foundation. Now, the key difference between us and other optimistic rollup is that we have an instant sequencer, so you don't have to wait for 7 days to finalize the transaction and push to L1, right? And because of that, we're able to have much faster block time. And again, like I mentioned, faster block time mean you can actually have the data become available to other people much faster, right? So, and again, it must become very suitable for things like games that are fully on chain. So games like Chains of the Eternal, because they chose to forego completely with the regular database, they put everything on chain, and I think the way they run it is about 100 transaction per user per hour, right? So they write the data really fast. Every time, let's say you have a PvP match, right? Every time you get hit, they literally write on chain. It's that extreme. And if the block time is not fast enough, your opponent will see something different, right? So then it won't really have a good experience. So yeah, fast block time is for that reason. It's just much faster. The data become much faster. It become available to other people, so they get to see the same thing sooner. And because of that, you can have different kind of experience that you can typically have with other blockchains.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So let's talk about your token. Like I can see here, you have your native token, which is like I can see the Saakuru token is a multi-purpose utility and governance token for the Saakuru protocol with a the burning mechanism. So and also you have planned actually like to launch your token the first May. So I would like to know more detail about your launching and also your token utilities.
Sure. So the token launch right now because of some positive development coming out from our social fi, right? So I think it's been around like 3.5, 4 days, and we have about 160,000 participants so far, right? So that actually caught quite a bit of attention from different parties. So because of that, we decide to wait for some of our partners to be more ready, and the IDO date will announce soon. Originally, is supposed to be on May 1st, but we're pushing off by a few days. So please wait for the announcement coming from the channel. So yeah, subscribe to the to Saakuru Labs Telegram channel and also Twitter for more information in the future. Now, in terms of the utility, there's actually quite a few. So our token is actually quite unique as a L2 token, right? Because typically a layer 2 protocol like Arbitrum, Optimism, and a few others, they typically only have governance token. And the token itself, the value is completely speculative, right? There's nothing that really tie back to the token. So what we did was we decided to come out with basically dual purpose. It's both governance token and utility at the same time, right? And the way it works is we kind of categorically separate them into two sides. So one part is what we call the demand model, and the second part is the burning model. So on the demand model, right now it's first tied to the developers' activities, right? So let me first take a step back and explain how the gasless part work on our chain. So it's actually a delegate model. Now, what does that mean? It means there's actually gas fee, but we actually cover the fee itself cover the fee ourselves, right? And what we typically do is that we charge the developer about $100 per 1 million transaction, which means we are pretty much one of the cheapest chain out there to operate, right? Now, so when they pay for the 1 million transaction, that's what we call the pay per use. Now, what they can also do is they can size up and they can figure out how many transactions they might need per month. Right? For example, a project like VGG and Arclight Studio, they know they need about 30 to 60 million transactions per month. So they actually hold quite a bit of our token. So, for example, if you have 300,000 tokens, you get about 30 million transaction per month in expirable credits, right? So instead of having to pay every month, if you have our token, you stake it, you get free credit every month. So that's how we can help new developers to come in and saving costs as well. So that's one side. Now, the burning model, there's a few parts. So the first part is what we call the DeFi layer, and that this one, if you familiar with something like immutable, it's very similar, right? So immutable, even though there's no gas fee there when you do regular transaction, but when you trade, you have to pay 2%, right? So for our case, we partner with some DeFi expert to launch a DEX called Taffy, which will go live pretty soon. So for every transaction there, 0.005% become protocol revenue for us, right? Because if it's gasless, this means there's no revenue at all. So we need to source revenue from somewhere. So first we have a bunch of products that already generate revenue, like the wallet or the SDK, and cashback product, and all those. But we also now generate revenue from DeFi, and because we do it this way with developer the demand model and the burning model at the same time, what this translates to is the more successful our ecosystem is, and the more successful these projects are, the more active they will be on our chain, and the more revenue we'll have, right? And the revenue that we have, we'll use to go do and buy back and burn. There's a couple other parts as well in the utility. So one is the governance layer. So for that case, it works a little bit like other governance token, but we chose to do, instead of a proof of stake, we use proof of stake plus, right? Because we want to normalize and make sure that people who are very active on our chain, they are also have more voting right? So proof of stake plus essentially is a proof of stake plus proof of participation. So that because the idea is that the more active you are, the more likely you'll be affected by any proposal, right? Even though you hold maybe not as many tokens. So, and that's the general idea. We also have what we call the security by governance. So we allow people to also report any malicious activities on chain, which will then have a process to go and essentially stop these activities and go through the Security Council to vote. And if you get it right, then you can earn potentially up to 3 times rewards, right? And part of that will also go towards burning the token as well. And then the last part is that we what we call the security layer. So we partner with Lossless Protocol, so that, let's say if you have a token in your wallet and you get hacked, right, or get scammed, there's actually a way to go and pause it and redeem the token back. And the way it works is that you can burn some of the lossless token, and then you can pause it in the hacker wallet, and you then from then on you go through the DAO process to go and essentially people will go and validate that it was an actual hack, so that they will allow you to claim it back, and also part of it become the fee for lossless protocol, and also part of it will become fee for us, which again will also go towards burning token as well. So these are a few utilities that we have right now, and we'll add more in the future.
Okay, yeah, best wishes to your Saakuru for the future. So thank you. You already explained about the gas fees issue. So there is another question, like, can you elaborate on how Saakuru enables arithmetic player experience in on-chain applications?
To enhance the developer experience, right? So, I mean, the very key reason why we have the gaslight experience, right, is that we want to make sure there's as little friction as possible. Imagine you have, let's say, a free-to-play game, right? And on other chains, it technically is not free, because when you come in, a lot of time you have to mint an NFT, right? So to mint an NFT, even though it's a free NFT, you still need gas fee. So that becomes a friction by itself. The second part is, let's say you play a play to earn game, and when you earn all these different tokens, you have to claim, and again, it will cost you some fee, right? And so for people who in developed countries where they have higher income, that may not be that big of an issue. I mean, it's still a pain, right? Because you have to go buy native coin and all that. It becomes significant in lower income countries like in Southeast Asia because people make average $200 to $300, right? But the fiat on ramp to get the native coin, typically there's a minimum spend of $50, which is a lot of money for them, right? So a lot of people just cannot afford it. So it's just friction everywhere when there's gas fee. Now, in terms of on the non-gaming side, when you go to, let's say, a restaurant case, right? Let's say you want to have a membership card. Imagine if you have a restaurant like Chipotle, where you have a very fast assembly line. You want to get people in and out very as fast as possible. Now, you want to mint an NFT membership card, right? Then already there's a struggle because majority of people don't have a wallet, right? So wallet itself is one struggle. Then you have to have a gas fee, and then all of a sudden you have lines out the door, not people waiting for your food, but waiting to actually mint your NFT membership card, right? So there's all these issues everywhere that surround essentially the UX of using this blockchain, and gas fee is a major issue. So that's what we're looking to solve.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So I'd like to request everyone, guys, take part on their like every activities actually, and also make your own research. Like if you have any question and queries, you can ask to the same session, and also they have their website. You can learn more. So Jack, here is the last question from my end. I would like to say people get ready with your best question if you have. So what is your future development plan after that actually? So according to your roadmap.
Sure. So the roadmap, there's a few parts, right? So the main key activity is actually on the biz dev side because we've been ready for some time. We're not one of those projects where we do an IDO before we go live on mainnet, right? We already been live on mainnet for about 1 year and 3 months. We already have quite a few projects going live. One of the latest one was the one of the presidential campaign in Indonesia, right? We use it, the gamification layer on our chain, and then we allow them to use it to attract Gen Z to come out to vote, right? So that was like back in February. And like I said, crypto run just went live. Now, besides the biz dev part, there's a few key things. So for those of you who understand how op stack work, right, the OP stack, right now there's only one single sequencer, which means it's essentially a centralized blockchain, right? And so Arbitrum have the same issue, Optimism, and a lot of these, anything that use OP stack or Arbitrum stack, right? So one part that is major is we looking to make sure that our chain is fully decentralized. And that will come as the OP stack become essentially capable, right? So I think that will take about another maybe 3 to 5 years. The second part that I actually have not mentioned yet is that our chain is permission, right? What does that mean? That means if you're a developer, we have to whitelist your wallet first before you can deploy your smart contract. So the benefit of that become essentially additional security layer to guarantee so that at least someone have looked at this smart contract to make sure that they are okay, right? So that we prevent all these scam and hack issues. And it's actually been quite interesting because of that, we actually are able to work with governments who have a lot of concern about scams on chains, right? We also, while I was in Dubai for Token 2049, we had a couple of studios as well that asked, like, how do you prevent our user from getting scammed, right? So when it become permission, that become helpful. But again, it become what people think is centralized. So that is also another second part on our roadmap is to make sure that the process for whitelisting also become decentralized. And the way it will work, it will tie back to the governance process, right? So when we have a lot more users, and now that we have like 160 plus thousand people that will have our token, and also many more that come through the IDO, eventually, once we have the process set up, you can go, the community will essentially be a part of whitelisting these projects, and things like meme coin, for example, right? That as well. So the community can set up a vote to essentially allow these meme coin project to deploy in our chain as well. So as much as possible, we are working towards become fully decentralized in a way. And I mean, we have a lot of other things as well. And like we co-develop many things as well with other projects and other companies. And I mean, starting from tomorrow, I would say you start hearing some other big announcement. I can't say anything yet because we have an embargo. But at 10 a.m. Hong Kong time, I think that's when one of the big announcements coming out. So yeah, please look forward to that.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for this narrative actually. So it's time to take some question from the community as I mentioned. So first one I can take the Justin. Hey Justin, do you have any question? Like if you have it right now, you can ask your question. Justin, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
ask your question please.
Okay, my question is what is the most important thing you have done to make your community stronger than the other? And what difficulties you have faced to make your community strong?
Uh, yeah, sure. So to make the community strong, right? I feel like what we do. So one part is the governance. We want to make sure that everyone in our community has a voice, right? And it doesn't matter if you're a whale or you what we call a shrimp, right? I mean, you have a less token, for example. We want to make sure that there's kind of like everything get normalized, so everyone can be a part of it. And you can see some prime example already, right? When we started SocialFi, we have, I mean, a lot of KL, of course, have advantage because they have a lot of followers, and because of that, they can earn the points quickly, right? And because of that, we decided to also what we set up this separate pool so that people who have less followers can have actually the chance to double dip into the prize pool, right? So if you have less than 5,000 followers, then you can also win quite a bit of token. So everything we do, we always think about like all these different part of our communities, and we actually have a really good product team. Katrina, for example, our head of product, she always look out for feedback from the community on what else we can do. And and in terms of the community, when we let's say when we're not talking about just individual token holder, right? When we talk about ecosystem as a whole. So let's say if you have a game studio and you come into our ecosystem, what we do here is we kind of like act as a publisher ourselves. So when you come in, we can help from acquiring users, right? We help with PR, marketing, we help with fundraising, we help with technology, we help with pretty much every aspect because we want to make sure that when you come into our ecosystem, you will have the best chance to become successful, right? So we're not like one of those blockchain where we only give grant, we just give money and we just let you do whatever you want, right? Because again, money is not a solution to everything. Like if you take a look at projects like Matrix 5, right? Matrix 5 is one of the most popular games right now. Have a 1.2 million users. If you talk to that CEO, he would tell you it's like, hey, Grant is great, but it doesn't solve the problem, right? Because what they want to do is they want to get adoption in Japan, in Korea, and all these different countries, and that's what we are really good at. We have built very strong network with a lot of different partners. We have about 180 plus partners in pretty much every aspect, right? If you come to Japan, for example, we have 7 marketing partners. We have really good PR partners and other regions as well. So that's what we do. We help with strategy. We help with tokenomics. Literally, we help with every aspect because, again, to become a consumer-centric blockchain, we also need to really understand all these different use cases, and we encourage all these. I mean, all these Web2 companies as well to come in, right? And when they come in, they already struggle with technology, with strategy, and everything. So we want to make sure that we can help as much as we can.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Justin, for your asking. The next one is DeFi Gamer. Hey, DeFi Gamer, are you there?
JMJ, everyone, I'm audible.
Yeah, you are asking a question, please.
Okay, so how does the protocol utilize OP stack and what benefits does this bring to the ecosystem? You get that?
Sure. So the reason we use OP Stack is, I mean, we're part of the Oasis ecosystem, right? I don't think we mentioned that either. Sorry. So Oasis ecosystem is so Oasis is a Japanese gaming chain, right? That's the layer one, and that started by all these large studio like Sega, Gumi, Bandai, Gabby Dixon himself from YGG as well was part of the founding team, right? So when they create the chain, the goal was to make sure that we have really good experience, especially on the gas side, right? And when it got created, the layer two OP stack was chosen because, I mean, there's a lot of really good characteristic there in the OP stack, right? It's very fast and optimistic roll up. I mean, it's actually it's definitely the future. Like, I mean, there's two sides, right? There's people think the CK roll up, the optimism. So there's all these different perks here and there. But for our case, it's actually customized so that it kind of tailored to a better experience for gamers, right? And that's why you have very fast finality, with very fast block time. And again, the gas fee delegate model is ensure that regardless of what developers choose to do, the consumer will always have really good experience. These are the key points, and that's why the stack was chosen and modified.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, DeFi Gamer. So the next one is here, Cute Tiger. Hey, Cute Tiger, right there.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
All right. My question is, what are some of the use cases and applications of your protocol in various domains such as finance, gaming, and social media?
Sure. So if I break it down, right? So this year, based on our pipeline, about 70% going to be games. I mean, we constantly talk to game studio. Today, I talked to one as well, coming from Singapore, and I think in Dubai, I talked to about 20 game studios that will potentially come to our ecosystem, right? So we have a lot of interest on the gaming side. Now, after the 70%, about 10% is in the education sector. So things like NFT certification, diploma, and all those things, right? And to basically increase transparency. And the rest are in the retail side. Now, the retail side is broken down into many things like RWA, so real world asset tokenization. We're working with the CRM case on the retail side, right? So customer relationship management, so like membership card and so on and so forth. We're also working on the ESG side, like carbon credit. We even tokenize cows and chickens, for example, right? So I mean, the benefit of having no gas fee is actually really allow a lot of people to imagine like how to build Web3 strategy into their Web2 product, right? And that's why we have the benefit. That's why we end up working with so many interesting projects. I mean, like the presidential campaign, for example. So yeah, so that's a little bit of how we break it down. But gaming is definitely one of the core focus, and I think it might be one of the areas that we're strongest as well. In terms of the governments and these large enterprise, we are fortunate that one of our co-founder is very connected with governments and large enterprise in Southeast Asia, right? One of our investors also is GDP Venture, which is one of the biggest conglomerate in Indonesia. And because of that, we have access to all these different businesses. So it's really, whenever they're ready, we help them with strategy and also providing the technology. So I think really mainstream adoption will come in 2025, right? I mean, people still put kind of like companies still kind of on the fence. So we need to really help come up with all these case study use cases so that they can see how it can apply to their company.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ice Crypto. Thank you, Mishu.
Yeah, thank you for your question. The next one is Nick. Hey, Nick, are you there?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
My question is, what are your strongest advantage you think will make your team leading the market?
So I mean, there's a few things, right? So and these days, a lot of blockchain start to have similar features. Like even the gas listing is not new, right? I mean, you can take a look at something like Lightlink. Now, if we compare to Lightlink, we at least 100 times cheaper, like for developers, for example, right? Or if you compare to Immutable, the fee that they charge for a transaction, we kind of extract it out, we put it on DeFi, and our fee is like, I can't do math but well this night, but 400 times cheaper, right? So we choose to go for I mean the experience for both developer and users, and we're trying to abstract out all this complexity as much as we can, and also from the pricing perspective, right? That's why we choose to have the demand model for developers so that they can, instead of having to constantly spending money, right, as they size up their business, they can just size it at one time, purchase our token, stake it, and just keep getting the credits, right? Because we have interesting cases, like for example, people collecting data of gamers across all these different blockchain and write on our chain instead, because it's the cheapest, is one of the fastest as well. So we essentially work with all these projects, understand use cases, and figure out how to make it better for them in a way. That's how we end up with so many different products, and so there's different part that I would say in comparison, right? If you talk about comparison with other OP stack, now we have much faster block time, right? We also have much faster finality, for example. So there's different key aspect here. So I think it really depends on what you do. I think that it'll be some kind of key advantage, I would think.
Okay, yep.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Nick.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to know what are your regulatory framework in making sure that this Saakuru protocol is worldwide acceptable?
Okay. So there are a few things, right? First, definitely security, okay? Because being gasless require additional security for sure, because otherwise you get spam. So we have basically top-notch security. I mean, me and my VP of engineering, we've been around for a while now in the enterprise space, right? So that's what we're really good at. We understand the issues, we understand how to prevent it, also at a cost-effective way, right? Otherwise, we just can't last, because if you use something like Cloudflare to protect your chain, I mean, you go bankrupt in like months because it just costs a lot in general, right? So we need to have all this top-notch security. Like for example, we do something similar to Solana, right? So even blockchain with low gas fee, you also need to have really good security because you can get spam easily. Like for example, I ran an experiment earlier on Harmony blockchain, like 2-3 years ago. It would cost $3,000 to send 1 billion transaction, right? So even though there's gas fee, it doesn't mean that you can't get spam. So and that's why we focus on that part. We also have been working on many certification that, I mean, I think whenever I think we actually require, we can push it through, like ISO 27001, also SOX 2 as well in the US. So there's a few certification standards and all these things, and in-house best practices as well on every machine. We make sure that we install all this security software, right? So there's definitely a lot of different things, and because we already working with government and large enterprises, we automatically forced to follow all these best practices. So I think we're quite ready, and I think we're global already as well at the same time.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you, Nick. Casper, could you please refresh your question?
Is KYC required to trade platform? What are the
Oh,
advantages?
okay.
Yeah.
No,
What are the
there's no
advantages of use of?
KYC. Okay, got it. There's no KYC to trade on our blockchain in a way, right? Our blockchain, you can go and do transaction. You can use any non-custodial wallet or custodial wallet. You can connect to our chain, and you can do all these transactions without KYC. Now, if you are looking to participate for the IDO and on Decubate, for that one, KYC is required. Okay, because it's a fully compliant platform, and that's why KYC is required there. But on our blockchain, there's no KYC required or for any kind of transaction. The only thing that we do is we actually whitelist the wallet for developers to make sure before they can deploy smart contract. For that case, before they go live on mainnet, I think we might introduce KYC and KYB, but right now we also do not do that right now as well.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Casper, for your question. So, Jack, I think we are enough for now. So we have to wrap this session. But before that, do you have anything else that you want to share, like any important news or anything else you want to share with us?
Yeah, sure. So again, we have social fi campaign going on right now, and I think we probably end up with about 250 plus users. So it's exciting time for us, right? I think it's quite rare that you that will have this many token holders in our ecosystem very early on, which is great because it really helps strengthen the governance on our chain, right? We have a lot more participants, and again, hopefully we can bring all sorts of activities, right? And for those of you who don't know about the name of our blockchain, so Saakuru is a Japanese word that means circle or a group of people with the same interest, right? And that resonated with us really well because we always emphasize on community. And the second part is activities. We want to bring in all sorts of different activities, whether it's gaming, whether it's something with education, with experience when you go shopping, and literally anything that you do, we would like to provide, right? So that's the origin of the name. So I would encourage you, everyone, to look more into what we do, and you can go and take a look at our light paper. That's where you're going to find the most information. And again, follow our social media, so on Twitter, on Telegram, to learn more. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by on our Telegram channel. We always have our admin available 24/7. So yeah, I mean, and again, the ideal date, we postponed it for a few days, and we'll announce the new date soon as we have some confirmation from our partners.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So people, stay tuned with them, and also like as you mentioned, they will announce the new date for IDO. So if you want to learn more their plan and programs, yeah, and also if you have any more question and queries, just go to their social media links and ask here. So thank you, sir, for having here for your time, and I'd like to thank you all of our community members, especially for their question and also others. So yeah, have a great day. Best wishes to your Saakuru for the future. Just keep
All right,
building.
thank you. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Bye.
All right, bye everyone.